Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Roger Dubuis AcquaMare Sports Activity Watch. You can see this automatic winding hybrid stainless steel and white gold Roger Dubuis on our website, purchase it there, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos. You can also click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high resolution images, and naturally complete pricing details for this watch. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this watch has a number of ergonomic factors that make it wear compact in spite of its outlandish dimensions and visual signature. First and foremost, across the broad of the case, the watch is 41 millimeters. That's from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, not including the immense crown and crown guards. More on that in a moment. Now, in terms of thickness, this is where the watch really shines. Thanks to an ultra-thin caliber, the watch is only 12 millimeters thick, so you're in the same thickness range as something like a Rolex Daytona. So really not outlandish in spite of the sheer of the case flank, which slides underneath a dress cuff or a tight sleeve surprisingly easily. Now from lug to lug, 54 millimeters may sound huge, but here's the thing. That's about the same that you'll get on a 44 millimeter Panerai Luminor, and those wear well on almost all wrists. Now my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and I'm going to say that the camber of this watch makes it incredibly easy to wear if you're slight of wrist as I am. Note that the case itself actually drapes itself, curving over the top of your wrist and then dropping off along the flanks. Now the short and strongly downward thrusting lugs accentuate this action, so they actually increase the effective camber of the case. So even though the watch is big and it does approach the edges of my wrist, you'll see how the strap flares out. Again, it's relatively constrained, draping itself around the wrist and even leaving a little bit of extra wrist on the side to pull the strap outward. So the strap's not being pulled straight down here. You can see I've got a little bit of slack to go. Were I smaller of wrist, like 15 centimeters, 14 and a half, I'd still be able to wear this watch with security. Now whether the style is yours, that is a matter of personal preference. Roger Dubuis, the brand, not the man, launched in 1995, combining a number of notions, some of them once considered mutually exclusive, but the two most controversial were the combination of Geneva Seal grade high horology quality finish and materials with outlandish shapes and design concepts. Now Roger Dubuis was there as the mascot of the brand, so to speak. After a long career with Patek Philippe, he came on board as the high horology imprimatur on Carlos Diaz's wristwatch concept, and it was Carlos Diaz in 2004 who designed these, the sports activity watches, the Seymour, the AcquaMare, and the Easy Diver. This watch here, the AcquaMare, is the rectangular entry in that trilogy, and you can see that the watch features some design highlights that recall dive watches, although it is not a dive watch strictly speaking per ISO standard, but it is 300-meter water resistant. The bezel in this case is 18-karat white gold, and the case is a combination of brushed and satin polished stainless steel. Now let me show you the strap that comes with this watch because it's a fascinating piece. You can see that it's a molded natural latex rubber, so very supple. It features a sort of quadrille pattern. One might even say it's a little bit like the tapisserie dials of Audemars Piguet Royal Oaks. On the underside, you can see it has relief channels for sweat and grit so that doesn't get pinned against your wrist on a hot day. So the design from an ergonomic standpoint, very good, as is the detailing. Now you can see the clasp completely finished. It even has a recurring Roger Dubuis RD motif inside. No milled edges, no burrs, no rough stamped junctions. Everything about this clasp is as fully finished as the case, the dial, and the movement. And when it closes securely. It has twin trigger action, so you need a positive release to open it. It cannot accidentally pop open. The dial is metallic, highly stylized, fully loomed, hands and indices, with a sort of metallic grain to the very base itself, elaborately guilloche cut on a traditional rose lathe. This is traditional materials and craft art being rendered in an avant-garde form. On the case back, you have, again, a sort of avant-garde frame to a very traditional movement. Caliber RD57 based on the ancient Longines L990 ultra-thin dual-barrel automatic winding caliber, also known as the Breguet 8810 and Breguet 8815. This is a base caliber worthy of the improvement that Roger Dubuis bestows on it. You'll note just above the balance the Geneva Seal, the Poinçon, the hallmark of Geneva, the ultimate seal of approval, the third-party mark of great finishing, horological significance, and throughout the movement, the finest level of materials and execution, beautiful anglage on the edges of the bridges and the jewel countersinks, a black polished swan's neck regulator atop the balance. You'll note linear Côte de Genève across the bridges and the winding mast with a filigree style rose gold Roger Dubuis double logo inset. You'll note two mainspring barrels, one of them open, for the ultra-thin caliber. It winds in one direction with a 42 to 45 hour power reserve and a 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate, so a modern 4 Hertz beat rate. It's protected again inside that 300 meter case and is one of only 280 made. This is not a watch you will see frequently. Now, Roger Dubuis watches are very particular. They're for people who have, one might say, extrovert personalities and an appetite for the avant-garde, but standards that don't compromise in terms of fit, finish, materials, and engineering. And that's exactly what this watch embodies. You can see it and you can purchase it on our website.